Practice will begin shortly. You may fly. Practice may begin.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
A very pleasant good day and welcome back to the Henderson Metal Fall Classic presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario. We're here live from the YNCU Curling Center in Sault Ste. Marie, where we have this matchup today between Team Kioti and Team Ramsfjell. My name is Schmel. I'm happy to be joining you today here on Curling Stadium, where you can catch every draw from every sheet all weekend long here in this event. We've had some great curling thus far this weekend, and it's only going to get better. So Team Kioti is throwing the green rocks. It is Ramsfjell with the hammer throwing yellow here in the first end. Now both these teams dropped their first game and have made their way into the B side of the event. Ramsfjell played his first game and defeated Alex Champ, and then dropped one to Matt Dunstone. Whereas Team Kioti dropped their opening game to Sandy McEwen, and then answered back last evening with a win against Tyler Smith. You see Team Kioti playing three-handed again, as they were yesterday. Aaron Sluchinski is not with the team at the moment, so it is Kevin Kioti, Tyler Tardy, and Carrick Martin. And we're underway. Here's the second from the lead Goat Nepstad. Gonna get just past the guard and be able to dig out that stone from Kioti out the back. So they do lie 1 and 2 in the rings. And Kioti's gonna ask Carrick to run this stone back. Playing three-handed, Carrick gets to throw a few extra upweight shots. This one needs to curl up if they're going to make the run back on the first one, and just catches the second one on the way by. They do roll off the center line, but it leaves one stone for Ramsfjell in the house. Good effort, but it just came up just a little low. Didn't get all the way up. And now here's the second stone thrower, Bendig Ramsfjell. Their team is out of Trondheim, Norway. They do just tuck a second one in the house. Decision time for Kioti without Hammer here. Could have liked to go on cleanup duty if you were to get really close to that guard. The slash is there, and they're still going to take another look at it. Electing instead to play the somewhat simpler shot here in the early going, a hit and roll under cover. Should be able to use that stagger to their advantage. So here's Tyler Tardy. Former Canadian junior champion. Now with the 4-time Brier winning skip, so a pretty good combination. They do manage to massage that roll to lie buried. So a little bit of work to do here for Ramsfjell. Here in the first end. Team Kioti would love to get a force, even a steal if they could, but to make sure that they hold it to a very manageable and acceptable outcome. Going to come up and raise their own right onto the Kiwi student. They're going to push it back to the 8 and to the back 12. And it is Ramsfjell line first and second shot. Kevin Kiwi wastes no time in putting the broom down for the run back here. Tardy away. Martin just lays a couple brush strokes on it. 1, 2. Get them both moving. Gonna squirt it out, but not all the way. Still in the rings. It does appear to be third shot, though, so you see that hit came up and just didn't catch enough of that angle to generate the necessary speed and transfer the energy. So here's Martin Sessiker. And this one is a little too heavy and is going to overcurl and end up exposed. Shot stone for the moment. Kioti is at least sitting second. It's really tight for third. He's going to like to come on down and freeze. I like this call just because Ramsfjell doesn't have anything that he can run onto a Kioti rock that belongs to him. So by putting one right here in that power position with only their stones in front of it, Kioti's going to look to try to take the end away from Ramsfjell here. Martin's on this one hard. Carrick has to get it past this guard. Past the first one. Don't think you're going to get past the second one. Oh, you didn't even get past the first one. It just wicks off, so a little bit light and not quite there. So not the best result for Tyler Tardy there. And we did see in their opening game that Tyler was having not quite the results he would like to have with his draw shots. So we'll have to pay attention to that. Might be something that he still has to get ironed out for this event. Here's the second from Sessiker. I'll try not to say that again. And he takes advantage of that miscue and lies one right in there. So it's time for the skipper to get out the big stick and run a couple back here. Taking a look at it, you can pretty much hit, just a sliver off the nose. You should be able to run both greens in. Probably can get both of the yellows. Certainly can get them moving. A real risk of catching the yellow on the back 12. So Kevin Kioti with a big backswing in the release. Trying to get himself out of some early trouble here. He'll be on the first one, run it back, and you get one going. But that's really not too bad because the object stone rolled over with what is now shot stone into a position right in front of it. So take a look at it again. This just needed to curl just a skosh more to be really, really, really good. But ultimately, not a bad result. Still might be able to see his way out of this. Now Ramsfjell going to try to determine what he can do. And there's plenty of room there on the intern side to just draw in under cover. He's going to like to do that to turn up the heat because you almost have to figure Kooey's going to go there himself or try another upweight shot. So having another counter in would probably make sure you get a deuce here. So here's Magnus with his first of the game. You can see in the back, we are using time clocks in this event. Both teams will be afforded timeouts. This has a long way to curl. And it also needs to stop. It's going to come up to the tee line. And just behind the button. And if Kioti were to elect to do so, he could get himself out of dodge with a good freeze here. I don't see any angles real quick looking at a triple here. Can likely get two stones moving, but three does not look to be in the cards here, so it will be a draw for the veteran skipper from Calgary. If he can lock one in there, he can take this end away from his opponent. If not, he's looking at big trouble early on. Pressure shot in the first end for Kevin Kioti. Carrick Martin on the brush. Now swinging around to hold it straight. Want to get all the way down there, and this looks to be a little bit light, and it is. So it is still two shots for Ramsfjell and a draw to the 4-foot 4-3. Tough miss there for Kioti. And now look at that amount of ice. Big swing heading towards that outside wall. That broom is practically in Ottawa. Final stone of the first end for Ramsfjell. He needs a 4-foot for a triple. Way out in the weeds. And this looks to be just a touch heavy. Now it's going to take that turn. It's taking that turn in Albuquerque. Will it settle in for 3? Yes, it will. It's 1, 2, and 3 for Ramsfjell. They jump out to the 3-0 advantage. Here in Sault Ste. Marie, we'll be back on Curling Stadium after this.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, we got it.
Come on up. Okay, well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2,
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Back here in the second end of the Henderson Metal Fall Classic, presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario, from the YNCU Curling Center in Sault Ste. Marie. I'm Dave Schmel, joining you today for this action between Kevin Kioti and Magnus Ramsfjell. It was Ramsfjell that jumped out to that early 3-stone lead, and Kioti is going to be playing catch-up here in the second end. Take a look there. We see the fans out there showing their support here in the Sioux. Now, I asked for this shot just because if you see that they're actually sitting on one of the curling sheets, and this having spectators out there for anybody who's made ice, and that's going to change the dynamics of the way the air flows in the rink and also the humidity level. So it could cause this sheet to behave just a little bit different than the other sheets. And so we'll have to pay attention to that, especially when it comes to draw shots on that side of the ice. We already saw Ramsfjell take a tremendous amount of ice to curl with the turn going towards that wall, which would almost indicate that maybe there's a little extra curl there, which generally, if it curls a lot in one direction, it's a little bit less the other way. I'm not saying the conditions are poor by any stretch of the imagination. It's just you need to pay attention to it, and that's what makes this game great, because you have to read every sheet of ice, every draw, because it's not always going to be the same. It's going to change throughout the game. And ultimately what separates the good from the great is the ability to do that, and especially among the front end, communicating that with each other. Now, Kioti playing with 3, there's one less mind to bounce that off of. And, well, speaking for myself, I'd find that helpful, but these guys are also much better than I am. But Aaron Sluchinski will be joining the team. He is playing mixed doubles starting today in Saville. That's where he's at. The team knew this. We have the center guard up for Ramsfjell and 2 in the 4-foot. Kevin Kioti stacked up the corners here. Now he's going to ask Carrick Martin to lay one in. Here, once again, you see that big swing there. So they got it moving a little bit. I don't know if they want to move them around that much because it's going to be an easy clear out now for Ramsfjell. Looking for a downweight hit and stick here. From his second, Bendik Ramsfjell. I'd be willing to bet a couple kroner that they're related. That's made no problem. Definitely a big event early in the season here. $106,000 up for grabs to the 28 teams entered here. And part of what's generating that big swing, just learned that they did condition the rocks overnight. So it's going to take a minute for them to break in, and that's why we're seeing a little bit of extra curl. So they touched them up just a hair. It's going to take everybody a second to get used to that, but that would explain part of the big curl that we saw, at least so far early in this game. But both teams have had the same amount of time to practice, so I trust they'll figure it out. Another takeout attempt coming here. Sessiger makes that without an issue. And they lie 3. Now Kioti's going to go after that rock that was just thrown. Now the question is, how much do you want to move the second one? And with there being a shortage of guards, you probably want to leave it around a little bit right now to give yourself some building material. So here's a stone on the way from Tardy. They got to hustle to get that by. Great brush by Carrick to get it there. They hit and they do move it, and it is buried under cover. Only see a little itsy bitsy sliver of it. Great brush by Carrick Martin. Now trying to dig that one out and trying to work that curl over, accentuate it even more. That just catches a piece of it, not quite enough. So a little opportunity now for Team Kioti because they still sit second shot. Shot stone easily available. It's a matter of how do you build the end and preserve it, because you'd love to get away with the deuce here and get yourself back on the better side of the ledger. So Tardy with his final stone of the second. Waiting for it to curl. Now, we expect a big finish here at the end. And look at that, take a left turn in Albuquerque. Comes on in, maybe even over curls. But looking at the positioning of these stones, I do think that one on the top of the 4-foot goes onto the yellow if you were to run anything straight back there. So there's no easy way out here. I still think that Ramsfjell has to make some sort of play there to open it up and reduce the potential score here. If you run the center guard straight back, you get that one that is sitting second shot to go for sure. And so the question is, where does that one that's sitting aligned to the top center go? Does it have any room to jiggle out? Because by doing that run back, you are going to leave a guard most likely. So you need to make sure you can get back in there and access that rock. So electing not to run it and play a little bit more downweight shot towards that pile. I like this call because it's recognizing it's not about the shot you make, it's about the shot you leave. Here's Magnus with his first of the second. Gets past the first one, no problem. Removes second shot stone. They do lie shot at the moment. He appears to be rather ambivalent about that outcome. So Kioti here, trying to see what the angles look to be here. What is the man from Calgary drawing up here? I think a big question is can you hit that and slide underneath that green stone? Because if you catch it on the way by, that's definitely not a good thing. Looks like he settled on a little bit more of a downweight shot. Probably tried to roll on back. Well, that's going to take a different stone. Here's Kioti with his first. This has got some work to do. Martin trying to bring it over. They'll get up to the nose, but they're not going to get any kind of roll on it. Now, what did you leave for your opponent here? Ramsfjell and Nepstead. Nepstead throwing lead rocks and serving as a vice skip here. So you have a few different options, and he's looking at trying to move both of the Kioti stones. Likely you're going to lose your own in the process. You throw enough weight, Kioti rock probably does go up over the top and out the side door. If you ever miss it, though, you're going to jam it. It's an easy deuce all day. Electing instead to come down the intern side here and throw a little down weight tap back. Probably, I'd say probably about hack or board weight. and push the Kioti rock through in line 2. They're on this right out of his hand to hold it. They're going to have to work hard to get past the guard. Going to have to hurry every inch of the way to get past it. That guard is coming up in a hurry, and they are on it, and it's going to wick on off. Sessiker and Ramsfjell could not hold that one for their skipper. His Kioti line shot, and to get a good look to see whether he's sitting third shot. Shot stone for Ramsfjell, but that's... I'd bet a loony that it's green. I think Tardy thinks so too. Ramsfjell's probably hoping that he can wager a couple hundred kroner that it's yellow and be correct. So if you know you're second for sure, third for sure, pretty easy call. Just hit and push this through, and you got your 3 right back. If not, you'd take the double on. Tardy wants to make really sure. You never want to be wrong when you tell your skip it's you. So now it's Kevin Kioti with his final stone of the second end. Looking to remove this and hang around to get 3. Martin's going to walk it over, get the hit, stick around, and you tap it out just to make sure. And there you go, 1, 2, 3, right back. And we are tied up after 2. We'll be back for the third end from the Sioux after this.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Three tie here as we come into the third end. It's Kioti versus Ramsfjell here at the Henderson Metal Fall Classic. Brought to you by Kioti Tractors of Ontario here on Curling Stadium. You can pick up every draw of every game on every sheet right here on Curling Stadium. So tune in, keep it here. We'll be here all weekend for you. Some of the other draws we have going on right now, we'll make sure we can get you a score update. in just a moment. See Ramsfjell in the top four. Kioti lays up the center guard. Martin delivering his stone. On our other sheets, we have Joel Retornaz holding a 2-0 lead over Corey Dropkin of the U.S. McEwen got a single in the first against Matt Dunstone. Lucas Klima and Reed Carruthers have traded a couple blank ends thus far. Marco Hosley has a 2-1 lead over Scott Howard. And Mark Keane, a single point over Shinya Abe after their first end of play. I'd like to thank all of you who are joining us. We had a great crowd last night joining us for the Brad Gushu matchup. And that Gushu rink will be featured in our next draw. That'll be at 12:30. Terry Corbin will be joining me for the call of that match. So make sure you keep it right here against Sam Mubrook. Big rush out. Tardy here. Gets that stone for Martin to settle on in the rings. But right now the angles are just a touch in favor of Ramsfjell. And here's Bendik. Look at that late finish on that stone, and it comes all the way up to the corner. So we have a very interesting looking, colorful parallelogram of rocks there in the forefoot. We need a lot of arrows to sort this one out, but Tyler Tardy's going to throw one down here, and we're going to rattle the cage a little bit here and release some of these yellows. Get past the guard first. Carrick just make sure that happens. Oh boy, another one that was oh so close to wrecking. Big brush out of Carrick Martin, and we're going to see the 50 Shades of Carrick on his face today for sure. It does have the effect of rearranging the deck chairs a little bit and releasing some of these stones. Second stone on the way from Bendik Ramsfjell. Trying to help it over as if anything needs any help curling right now. That comes nicely on the inside of theirs. And now their two stones are keyed up on the Kiwi stone. And the greenstones in the house are starting to feel a little bit of anxiety from the amount of yellows surrounding them. So trying to figure out a good way to draw your way out of this. I suppose you could skinny another one through the port here, maybe even come off the yellow that's there on the M of Henderson metal. You could throw a little bit of weight in there and open up some more, but the real problem is there's a lot of yellow granite there, and Ramsfjell just has to find a way to make it count. So here's Tardy, and he's gonna try to excise some of that granite. Big weight coming here. Got to get past the guard. You do. And there one, and that's only one goes. You kick your own out. Need some two in front of the tee line, but still not in the best spot if you're Kevin Kioti. And Magnus is trying to find a way to make sure that he can keep this favorable. He's decided that he does not like the guard, so he peels that off. Probably pretty sensible, but we're going to see some massive granite removal coming here. Gonna get at least a couple of them moving. Let's see how many Tyler can dispatch with this one. And come on down, a little softer weight, a little quieter. Idea here is to eject one of those yellows, but still leave some backing to catch your own green. That's exactly what he does. So now it's yellow that might be feeling a little bit anxious around all those green rocks. Important that that stone from Tardy came over just a little bit to screw up the angle so the rocks don't go onto the second yellow. So now Magnus is gonna likely try to see if he can't get out of this end. Martin Sessiker bringing the heat. Hits it right in the crotch. You have 1 and 2, and does the third one go out? There we go. You got 2 of them to go. Clearly out of the rings. Still in play. You have Ramsfjell sitting 2 right now. Kioti sitting 3rd and 4th. But I do believe that you can make this triple here, and if there's anybody who can do it, it's going to be Kevin Kioti. Yeah. Catch it just off nose. You get that top yellow on the forefoot. Redirect it on the one in the back, and they all should go. This needs to curl. Just caught 2. He didn't catch enough of it, rather. Needed to come up and only gets one of them to go. Leaves Ramsfjell sitting 2. Never had a chance. It just needed to curl a little bit more, and that weight is not going to do much of anything. So we've had no shortage of scoring thus far, and Ramsfjell's going to try to keep it that way. You do have to worry about that green rock on the angle that's sitting there on the L. We can certainly use that to get out. Great answer would be just to kill that rock. You just have to leave it in such a place that Kioti can't make all three go or has some kind of freeze to get out of the end. And probably the simplest way to score your deuce is to kill that green. Magnus Ramsfjell with his first and the third. He does kill it and clear the one in the back. Did you leave enough of an angle for all three to go? I don't think so. I think that yellow on the top of the 4 foot. Now there might be enough separation. You go the yellow there, right there on the center line, down to the top 4. It'll catch the one on the back on the way out and fly out the side door. And if you hit it right, you'll have an empty house by the time this is done. So, deep breaths from the skipper here. Trying to find a big one. Kevin Kioti with his final of the third. Martin just watching this one fly, and it is flying, it's moving. On the one, you get 2 to move, and that's all. So you couldn't make the triple. And it'll be a free draw to the house for 2 for Ramsfjell, but excellent effort by Kioti. Just need to curl up just a hair more, I think. So Magnus Ramsfjell, final stone at number 3, just needs a piece of the paint for 2. No problem for the skipper there. He gets his deuce. It's going to be 5-3 as we head to the 4th end from the Henderson Metal Fall Classic presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario. We'll be back on Curling Stadium.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
back here in the fourth end from the YNCU Curling Center in Sault Ste. Marie. Got a good one here with Kevin Kioti against Magnus Ramsfjell. Thank you to all of you who have just joined us here on Curling Stadium. I'm Dave Schmel. I'm happy you're with us here today.
Well,
See, that stone came right on down. Now here's Bendik Ramsfjell trying to counter things. Started this game with a pair of threes being traded between the two squads. Ramsfjell got a deuce in the third. Now it's Kioti looking to answer back with hammer here in the fourth. So if you like low-scoring games, you've tuned into the wrong sheet. As both skips are mixing it up fast and furious and jumping in the pool at every opportunity. Ramsfjell line shot stone. Gonna ask Carrick Martin here to bend one around. Now these stones have had no problem curling. They were conditioned overnight, so lots of late finish. Look at that. It's on the edge of the 8-foot, and it's going to come all the way over and across the center line. That's about 7 feet of curl in the last 15 feet of travel. Great look at where that ended up. That is a tremendous amount of curl. So this is shot maker's ice right now. Definitely going to be fun to watch. Now this one, you can see they're able to curl that around the stones in the 4-foot and almost get fully under cover. Kioti's going to ask Tyler Tardy to come on down and take a look at this one. So you're looking here, how do you generate yourself some offense? You're not in the worst position lying third and fourth. You are in front of your opponent's stones. Problem being, of course, being those guards that belong to Ramsfjell. Now you could use them to your advantage and use them as stones that you run in. Easiest one to use right now is the one that's in front of Kevin. But ultimately, you want to set it up. And right now, this is the inflection point in the end where you decide you're pushing hard for a score yourself, or if you want to get your way out of this. Because you could run one of those back with all kinds of weight and lose 2 stones minimum. Most likely, if you run back a yellow really hard right now, both yellows in the forefoot go away. Nice hit and flop over there. Sorry for the brief technical issue I suffered there. Now you see Kioti with just one in there. This is when he's going to look to bail out. Tyler Tardy. Look to run back their own here. Martin on the brush. Got to come right on back. On the one. Get the second one. Oh, you slid just by. Just need to hold that. Just another Scotia. Does hold on to the rings. Still shot stone for the Norwegians. They lie first and third. Coming. Yeah, wrapping another one in. Seems like a great idea to me. Anywhere in there he put his broom is not bad. And playing off of that Kioti rock is also good. Now, need to make sure if you're going to call that hit and roll that you actually make it, because if you leave Kevin a rock there, you're going to give him a pat to the button. This is going to be one stone higher, and he'll be able to use it to roll in. The last thing you want to do is give Kevin Kioti an out here. Now they're going to have a little chat about it. They sense this is an important moment in the game, and I definitely don't blame them. Feel free to chime in the chat with what you think the call should be here. All 4 players taking a look at right now, and you can see the scores for all of our games at curlingzone.com. I'll take this opportunity to give you a scoreboard update myself. Joel Tornaz has stolen another against Corey Dropkin. It's 3-0 in his favor. Magic Mike McEwen, 2-1 over Matt Dunstone right now. That game in the fourth. Reed Carruthers with the single in the third. That's a 1-0 game. Tight to the vest there between him and Lucas Klima. Marco Hosley has scored in 2 straight ends to take a 3-1 advantage on Scott Howard. Mark Keene just got a deuce in the third to take a 3-1 lead over Shinya Abe. And that brings us right back here and still looking at these stones.
Attention crew. For drill purposes, our new sign-ons, please now report to crew.
So that draw is made. Now, Kevin Kioti with his first to the fourth. Martin keeping a broom down on this. Just kind of massaging it right now. It's taking that break hard. They bring it right on down to the lid. And now it's shot stone for them. And don't see much room for Ramsfjell to put another one in there. Be very careful here. Because you still have that stone sitting on the Delta Hotels logo. That can come in and cause you a world of hurt. So Ramsfjell is going to have to lock one right onto the one that Kioti just threw here to prevent a disaster of an end. Ramsfjell with his last. This one needs to get there. Both men now laying on it. Need to get all the way up to that stone. And yes, you do. That's a pretty good effort there out of the Norwegian skip. Lion one. Now the question is, can he run that in on the angle and kill both yellows in the process? Oh, I think you just might be able to. You fire it in there. Your green on the button jams on to the one in the back four. It goes away. You hit it just right. You're going to shoot that yellow right out the side door, and it's going to be good for 3. So Kevin Kioti with his final stone, event number 4. Going for the angle, raise for a bunch. It's on the way. Martin not putting a broom on it yet. This needs to come up, and it's going to slide by everything. And it'll just be a single. So the plan was in place. The execution lacked just a little bit there. Single point for Kioti. It's 5-4 after 4. Here from Sault Ste. Marie. We'll be back on Curling Stadium.
On behalf of the volunteer board, the support team, and all the families who will be helped by this year's Sandra Schmerler Foundation Telethon, thank you for being a part of this historic moment. $1,126,014, a new record, exceeding our goal, and most importantly, countless families from St. John's to Victoria to Yellowknife and babies in over 100 hospitals in between will be impacted by your generosity. And we couldn't do it without the amazing partnerships we have with Curling Canada, TSN, and Net2Phone Canada. They connect you, our generous supporters, with so many of the Scotties participants and our volunteers on Telethon Day. A special thank you to Jocelyn and Brett for sharing little Luke Gallant's stories, and all of the families across this great country who shared stories of how Sandra's legacy has helped their little ones grow up and become champions. In each of the last 3 years, because of generous supporters like you, the Sandra Schmerler Foundation has been able to give back $1 million to help babies in every province and territory. And this year's telethon will ensure we can continue that incredible momentum. Thank you for helping champions start small.
Thank you, Canada!
Back here, pick out the second half of this game at the Henderson Metal Fall Classic presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario from the YNCU Curling Center in Sault Ste. Marie. Both teams spent a lot of time thinking about that game, and you see they're looking at the time clocks. Just over 13 minutes available for both teams to finish this game. Now they have their timeouts available. It's definitely something we'll have to pay attention to. Was a single point for Kevin Kioti in the fourth. Had a shot at a bundle with a long angle raise that likely would have went for 3 had he made it, but just was a little bit outside and slid past the raise attempt and had to settle for 1. So now Ramsfjell in the 5th has the hammer and the 1 stone advantage. I'm Dave Schmel. Happy that you're joining us today. Our producer is Ryan Jakes and our engineer is Connor Sims. We thank you so much for being here with us on Curling Stadium. You can catch every game of every draw. And the links are right there on curlingzone.com. We make it easy peasy, lemon squeezy for you to catch all your curling. That corner guard slips into the house. Garg Martin's going to be tasked to get this one off the wings. And he does, and it does appear to be off the rings. They're going to take a look at it. Ramsfjell's going to come back at that. Keep the big split of the house in play. Trying to get a little bit of roll, doesn't get it. Kioti will take on the other stone in the house now. I think both teams are exhaling a little bit after what was a very complicated fourth end, which consumed a lot of time on both teams' time clocks. Hit is made by Tardy, but it's going to make it all the way sliding out through the house. Now Ramsfjell is going to address these guards and tell them to leave. Try to work his way towards a blank end to carry the hammer into the 6th. Beautiful double peel. The guard goes back up, and we'll get an answer real quick as to Ramsfjell's intentions. And there they are. He wants no parts of scoring in this end. He wants that hammer in 6. With the 1-stone lead. Who would blame him? You get one, you can get the other one on the way by as a bonus? No, you can't. A draw under the only guard that's there to be drawn under. And here's Tyler Tardy, the former Canadian Juniors champ. Interesting, didn't get under. They did put their stone in the house. Don't think they promoted the Ramsfjell stone on. So Ramsfjell's going to be able to clear that and probably get rid of everything here. And there they go, and they even managed to clear their own out and up. So now Kioti already on the other end, knowing he wants to hold on to some of that remaining time in the clock. Taking a look around the rings right now. Blank end of the 4th between Retornaz and Dropkin. So Retornaz still with a 3-0 lead in that matchup. Another blank end in the 4th. So it's still 2-1 McEwen over Dunstone. Reed Carruthers put a deuce up on the board against Lucas Klima. He has a 2-1 advantage. Scott Howard took a single in 4, so it's 3-2 in favor of Hosley. And Keene stole a point in the 4th. It's 4-1 over Abe. That shot by Kioti fails to take out the Ramsfjell stone. And Ramsfjell's going to get a free deuce. Oh my, oh my. Final stone at number 5, and an unexpected gift for the Norwegian. And he says, thank you kindly. I'll put 2 on the board. It's 7-4 as we head to head number 6. From the Fall Classic.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it.
Come on. Okay, well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline, Join the revolution.
We're back here at number 6 of the Henderson Metal Fall Classic, presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario, and unexpected turn of events that we looked like at what looked like was going to be a blank end for sure. And the nose hit was missed by Kevin Cooey, allowing a free deuce for Magnus Ramsfjell. Now he has a commanding 3-stone lead in the 6th, and Team Cooey's going to have to go all out here to try to make something happen. Glad that you can join us today for our coverage on Curling Stadium. We have great action for you all weekend long. Our featured game will be Brad Gushu against Moybrook at 12:30, and our next draw, Terry Corman will be joining me in the booth. And I hope you guys can join me too. But Team Cooey still has some unfinished business, and they're going to be in the business of guards and stones if they're going to make some change happen here. Stone from Carrick Martin came just a little bit deep. You needed that to be off the rings. And Ramsfjell's going to waste no time in trying to get that to go away. It looks half undercover, but the right way these rocks are curling right now, I think it certainly is accessible. So you're coming up, you're going to be tight to this guard. If you ticket, it's not the worst thing ever. And look at them dig that out. What a great shot by Bendik Ramsfjell. And you can see that it just looks like some of the wind has been taken out of the sails of Team Cooey here. But they're veterans and they know how to turn around and dig deep, and that's what they had to do. So here's Carrick Martin. Going to try to rattle these around a little bit and get under cover. Tardy trying to hold it for all he's worth. He's got to hold it if it's going to be any good. And that's going to wick off and skitter on through the house. Not what they want to see there. And now since we've reached the end of the free guard zone, Magnus is going to dispatch that remaining guard from Team Cooey and open her up here and leave Cooey nowhere to hide. So now without any guards of his own, Cooey has to wrap one around everything and use these yellow stones of Ramsfjell to his advantage. Throwing out and taking that big swing Can Martin get it past the first guard? No, that's going to wick off and be wide open. So just can't get anything to go right now. That's a tough feeling when you just don't feel like any shot's going to make it. Here's Sessiker. They make that no problem. Trying to draw something up. I mean, down 3. Kioti's going to have to try to blank here. And the 7th and steal in the 8th. Not what you want to be doing down 3 in the 6th, but it's the only answer right now. So a missile coming from Tardy. Only one goes away. Now, when things aren't going well, sometimes it just feels good to throw in that hard. I can relate. Sessiker's going to go after this one here on the wings. And why not get the perfect roll, too? A little bit of a pocket, though, if you can wedge in there. Might be able to build something. That's what Kevin's going to try to do. None of this is going to be easy at this point. Probably moved the Yellowstones a little bit more than they wanted. Plenty of room for it to be ejected. Nepstad holds the broom for his skip. Magnus Ramsfjell looking to clear out this stone from Kioti. And banging right through the hole it goes. Well thrown by the skipper. Didn't take any chances there. He had made sure it had plenty of weight just in case it were to catch something on the way through. Enough energy to clear out all the stones. Don't necessarily care about scoring any right now. And now here's Kioti with his first. Hitting a little flop over, it's about the best you could do. same shot is available for Ramsfjell back here. Could leave Kioti with a blank attempt if he were to roll out. Jams on the one in the back. It does roll out. A lot of separation there. That's a tough double, but you gotta try it. Gotta try to blank this end, I would think. If you think you have any chance of making it. Make sure you keep it here on Curling Stadium. We have all the action from all the sheets. You can catch every one of your games. And all the scores are available on curlingzone.com. And make sure you like and subscribe to Curling Zone on YouTube. Set those notifications up. Make sure you don't miss an end of any of your favorite teams. You can look up all your teams. We have playlists for many of the top teams available. Now Kioti with the final stone, looking to get the blank. Up and over and out, and there you go. Well, we made that one. It's a blank end in 6. Kioti still trails by 3 as we head to 7 after this.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Welcome back to the Henderson Metal Fall Classic, brought to you by Kioti Tractors of Ontario from the YNCU Curling Center in Sault Ste. Marie. A blank in the 6, Kevin Kioti has the hammer, trailing by 3 stones to Magnus Ramsfjell. Has to make something happen here. It's going to have to start by that guard stopping and not being in the rings, and it finds the breaks at just the right time. We're going to see the tick shot attempted here. On this pretty quickly to try to hold the line. That's going to overcurl by a mile. That was always going to be a tough shot just because, yeah, the stones had just been conditioned. That's not the easiest shot to begin with. And you're throwing inside out there on the path, which I don't think we've thrown a single stone down that path in this match. So that was a guess at best. But certainly worth trying. So now Martin has to put up another guard. They're going to go with double corners. Didn't get quite up to even. And try the tick shot again. You see there, taking about 2 feet more ice this time. Just a minor broom adjustment. This one's a lot closer. And there you go. You got the little wick and you roll into the house. That's what you were looking for. Nice shot. It's still there in the corner, but it's further out. Take another look at how they managed that stone. Now, mind you, almost a 2-foot adjustment in the broom placement. And it went from missing it well over the top to executing the tick. But it is still indeed a guard, and Kioti's going to try to use it here. Martin up to brush his own home. That's going to come way out the other side. Undercover. Don't know what you can see of that from the hack. You can see a little bit, but first order of business is start to peel on these guards. This one goes away. Do you get anything? Do you get a little bonus? Yes, you do. Well, it's all coming up Ramsfjell so far today. Yeah, the stones had a difference in depth of about, say about 2 rocks. So it did leave that angle there. So now Kioti still underneath the stone, but now unfortunately for him, it's his opponent's rocks. But still needs to try to find a way to build an end. He's got to build it relatively quickly because time is not on his side. Both teams used a lot of time. There you see 7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining on their clock. Both teams have their timeouts intact, I believe. It's a good shot from Tardy there. It's going to lock right on in. Ramsfjell trying to see if he can dig that out with some weight, and he likely can, because it didn't curl right up to the nose. Here's Sestiger. This needs to curl up a little bit, and it doesn't. So there's a little bit of light in the tunnel there for Team Kioti. They lie first and third right now. Still under the threat of that long guard. But now they're going to elect to play the great big split. Not a bad call. It's just the execution of it's going to be very important. I do believe they just called their timeout here. Team's going to discuss this. So looking at the various options, the First one that they indicated was just to split the rings on the tee line all the way in the 12-foot. Gives you a lot of distance and gives you a good chance to score too. Now, there's still a lot of rocks to come to hold that. Problem is that you're going to have to eventually address the Yellowstone. Right now, there's not a good way to kill that without giving Ramsfjell a shot possibly at all your rocks. Ramsfjell can access either Kui stone right now, honestly. Can probably come all the way around the outside and get to the one in the 12-foot, and the one on the button is, well, right there on the button, laying out there wide open. So, which of the suboptimal options do you choose here? That's an interesting thought there. Thinking of moving his own rock off of the button a little bit. And maybe you roll wide yourself. Alternatively, wrapping one underneath the corner. That does leave you susceptible to the run back, but it's still a shot that would have to be made. Still coming back to that big split, which was the skipper's first instinct. We'll see where the broom goes down here. Looks like the big split's the call. And let's see if Tyler Tardy can deliver. Martin's got to make sure this is dead even. You can't leave any angles. It's got to be just right. And that is well managed. You could almost put a straight edge between them. Nice brush. Now, Ramsfjell taking a look at this, he thinks that he might be able to generate enough angle here. Maybe even to kill two greens with this one yellow rock. It's a big ask, but as long as you hit one green out, that's not a bad problem. Just needs to curl up just a skosh. And yes, they go. What a shot. It just ricocheted over there. My, oh my. Just came down there. You caught just enough of that green onto the yellow. Drive it across the side and out the side and back door it goes. And adios to those two greens. Definitely want to roll under cover there. I think you can make this double. It's pretty flat, but I think this goes. If nothing else, you roll over next to it, but There's enough separation in terms of height, and we've seen how reactive these stones are. Should be able to pull it off. So Magnus Ramsfjell electing to go with just a much more controlled hit and roll on over. Don't want to go for the bingo shot because, well, you can't afford to miss it. Looks like that path's starting to run just a little bit straighter there. We saw that path run a little bit straight on Kevin Kioti the last time down this way. So Kioti's got to hit and hold the split here and survive one more stone to get a deuce and keep some hope alive here. Martin on the brush. The stone from Kioti's going to come on up, come across the face, and then where does it roll to? It rolls pretty well. They are flat as a pancake. It is so flat you could watch your dog run away for a week. So it'll just be a hit and stick here for Ramsfjell. Going to force Kioti to make a shot. As we've seen, nothing is a gimme. So Kioti lines up the hit and stick for his final in the 7th. Kevin Kioti, the 4-time Brier champion, with his lesson at number 7. Needs a hit and stick for the deuce. Martin on the brush, and it's right on the beak, and score 2 for Kioti. It's now 7-6, heading to the 8th end. From the Henderson Medal Fall Classic, we'll be back here on Curling Stadium.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Back here in the eighth end. Of the Henderson Metal Pole Classic, presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario. Here from the YNCU Curling Center in Sault Ste. Marie. I'm Dave Schmel, and we've had a great matchup here. It's 7-6 right now in favor of Magnus Ramsfjell. They have the hammer. Kioti got his deuce in 7. He's going to need to steal one coming home here. Time shouldn't be a factor for either team right now. Both teams with more than 4 minutes remaining. Kioti needs guards and lots of them. Love to get to the center line. There you go. It's parked right there on the Kioti Tractors logo. The magnificent sponsor of this spiel, along with the good folks at Henderson Metals, making this a purse of $100,000. It's a surprise, surprise. All the big names came out to chase that big purse. Got the double guards up for Team Kioti. Ramsfjell can't touch him yet, so he's just going to bring another one in. They do have the hammer here in the 8th. There's been no shortage of action here. Some key misses by the Kioti squad to put themselves in that position. Sliding past the takeout when it looked like a blank end was coming for sure, giving Ramsfjell a free deuce in 5. Was suboptimal to say the least. So Martin looking to bring another one in play here. Congest up the area. They lie third shot. Now Ramsfjell will take the cleanup duty, and that falls on Bendick. The Norwegian looking to move a lot of granite here. Gets 1 and 2 greens to go. Leaving a couple guards in the process, but also leaving angles on them, so they'll be less likely to stuff in the next peel attempt. See, just a tiny bit of a speed wobble there coming out of the hack. Firm recovery. And a pretty good outcome. Tardy warps another one on there. Another clear attempt upcoming. This time Martin Sestiker. I'm sorry. Still Bendick Ramsfjell. Gonna reload and fire again. Bang, bang, and that opens up the landscape significantly. Leaves only a wide corner guard. Much better delivery here. And it yielded a much better result. Getting everything off the center. Provided adequate access for his skipper later on. Now Martin's got to drag this over. Can't be light, Tardy. Gotta get it there. Gotta get it there. Oh, no. Just a little bit short. That was an inopportune time for that. Just barely picks out the Kiwi stone. So Kiwi's going to use the only cover he has. This is a B bracket game. This is event played as a triple knockout. So it's not the end of the line for either team. But you'd much rather get there through the B side than through the C. The C is a lot of curling, especially in an event of this size. Now Kioti is trying to see what he can build without guards. The skip delivers his first. Martin's going to try to guide it in under cover. Right there to the side of the forefoot. Ramsfjell trying to decide what he wants to do here to keep this game moving. Could probably dig out the shot rock if he so desired. Then you're going to give Kiwi something to lock onto. Kiwi has to make a play on your yellow because he has to be sitting shot after his next stone. And if you were to dig and leave it out there in the corner, it's going to make it a little tough for Kiwi to make a better one on you. So we'll see how they decide to go here. Magnus Ramsfjell with his first. Stone is on the way. Gonna be tight to the guard. Do they get past it? Yes, they do. What a brush. They're gonna lie 2 right there on the forefoot. And for Kioti, he's just gonna have to lock one in there and pray. There's a good look at what Kioti is facing. Now he needs to move one of those Ramsfjell stones off the button. He's going to have to leave it there for backing. Nothing he can do to stop Ramsfjell from smashing into it. It's a chance he has to take at this point. One thing is for certain, you need to be line shot after you throw this rock. I'd like to thank all of our viewers who are coming in from other games. Kevin Kioti with his final stone in the 8th. Martin's working hard to hold the line here. If you lose the line, it's all over. Gonna make contact, but you're not sitting shut. I don't think you are. And that'll do it. So it'll be a final score of 8-6. And Magnus Ramsfjell knocks off Kevin Kioti, and Kioti will fall to the C bracket, and Ramsfjell will continue on in the B. It was a game of a couple key shots, some struggles by both Tyler Tardy and a big miss on what was going to be a blank end by Kevin Kioti. They showed some good grit and resolve to try to make this close. But ultimately, it was the Norwegians that prevailed. So right now from the Henderson Meadow Fall Classic, presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario in Sault Ste.Marie. For my producer, Ryan Jakes, production engineer Connor Sims, I'm Dave Schmel. Please continue to join us here on Curling Stadium. Have a great day.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.